Welcome to the Mel and Mike stay-at-home edition. Remotely, Mel Moore, the head coach of Xavier Women's Basketball, Mike Schmaltz here in beautiful Deer Park, Ohio, as we weather this COVID-19 situation. What is the current situation at Camp Moore? What is going on with you while you're at home with your kids and your family?
Well, it's a little chaotic. I'm in my home office, as you can see, with doors. So I try to tell my kids, when those doors are closed, you can't enter. But they don't go by those rules all the time. It's a lot of homeschooling. My husband's been a rock star in that, making sure they're staying on point. And I'll go out from time to time as the disciplinary when I need to make sure they need to stay on point. But we're hanging in there, as all families are.
Those maybe Tristan and Ayla giving a little different side of you. Have they seen maybe a little more of the coaching you than they maybe have before?
I think definitely. And I think they're just in shock that mommy's home every day. They're like, wait, what? At first they would ask me, are you home again today? Now they're expecting me home. So we're enjoying our, this time, trying to look at the positive side of it. At least we're all together and we're healthy.
Think back a couple of weeks. You finish up your conference tournament, and then this whole COVID-19 situation starts. What were some of the thoughts that you had to deal with your team? Did you address it with them, and how did this go? Because it came on very quickly, and it's obviously unique.
It came on so quick, Mike. It was one of those things where, we lost in that overtime game to Villanova. We hopped on the bus, got back around a little after midnight, and then we were on spring break. So the kids kind of skedaddled that night, some the next morning. And then as we're on spring break, this started to unfold, and it's like, uh-oh, now what next? And I just tried to be calm and make it all about them, making sure they were safe, healthy. And then the more and more we gathered information, it was like, wow, is this, where are we headed? How serious is this? This is much serious than we thought. But they're rock stars. The resiliency of this group is incredible. And when you have 18 to 22-year-olds, they get it, and they're flexible and they go with the flow. And so we were very fortunate from day one. It just kind of became like, okay, maybe we'll get you back in a couple weeks. Then the couple weeks came and said, okay, now we got to push that back. Then it became, all right, let's set up times for you guys to come back to campus, move out of your dorms, and then we'll just, kind of wait and see what happens with summer. And then the main thing is that they're all healthy and safe, that their families are safe and healthy, and then academics. We switched to remote learning. We switched to online classes, just making sure they're still utilizing the resources from their homes that we have at Xavier to be successful in the classroom. And so they're handling it like rock stars. I'm just so proud of them and my staff for checking in on them every day. And we're zooming away, as we say. It's another Zoom. Let's zoom away.
So what would be going on if they had access to the facilities at campus? What would be happening now, and maybe what are some of the creative ways you've instilled to get them moving on their programs for personal development?
Yeah, so if we were on campus, we would start with our postseason workouts. So we would get 8 weeks, 4 on the court, where we were still working on skill set. We'd really break down their individual games, working on ball handling, shooting, finishing, things like that. And then as well as they would get opportunities to work with our strength coach, just kind of coming down off that long season that we had. And so now this time away, and some of them have a basketball hoop in their driveway. Some don't have any access to a hoop. So it's being creative of ways of even them, kind of owning this time of staying in shape, and what does that look like? Our strength coach sent them workouts, but they have to be voluntary things that they want to do. But our group, starting with our incoming, going to be 3 seniors, are leading the way. They know that they have 1 year left, and their leadership, everybody's kind of rallying around, and they're taking ownership themselves.
That's awesome. So are they instilling some conversations with the team outside of what you structured?
Yeah, like I kind of put it on them. We have to step aside in this time, and we can't force you. We can't even really have those conversations. Are you working out? And so it's kind of, that's where you have to trust your team and who you have coming back, and know that they're going to get it going. Because and we're very fortunate, the 3 seniors in Aaliyah, Ari, and Deja, and they're enjoying these leadership kind of responsibilities, and they're taking it another step further.
That's fantastic. So it's a dead period now for recruiting, but May 31st, it'll open back up. You're not going to be able to go visit recruits and get to those summer events probably as you used to. How are you going to get creative with that process?
Yeah, so, again, just a lot of electronics. Thank God for electronics, right? So it's a lot of phone calls, just following up with AAU coaches, high school coaches, as well as just the recruits. So getting in touch with those 21s, getting in touch with those 22s, 23s, through their coaches. And then if they call you, you kind of show them everything you can about your program. And we've had opportunities where we had to go on campus and do virtual campus tours just to show them kind of what our campus is about. But that's where you're very fortunate if you live in an area where a lot of people can get to you quicker. Like through our games this past seasons, a lot of recruits have already been on campus. So that's a nice advantage for us.
You were able to get some business done in recruiting, both in the early and the late period. So let's talk about your 5 incoming players. The 2 most recent, Janasia Brown, 6'1" forward, Kaylin Satterfield, a 6-foot guard. And we could have outed you there on the Kaylin Satterfield. Katie Smith and I did that last game with Creighton at home.
Uh-huh.
That's Kenny Satterfield over there. And I think people from Cincinnati will remember him from the University of Cincinnati. He was a Bearcat. He's like, she wants to transfer from Ohio State, and she's in Cintas Center. So that was a big win for you in that category. But talk about those 2 that you signed late.
Yeah, so Kaylin is she's an elite level athlete, went to Christ the King High School in New York, won multiple championships, played at a high level, was in the Jordan game, prior to her freshman year at Ohio State. So we're really excited about her. Honestly, Mike, she could play 1 through 5 positions. She's so versatile. She's a scorer. She can get people the ball, a great feel for the game. So we're just really excited about what she can bring, just her winning mentality to our program at a high level. So we're really excited. Then obviously her dad, having played at Cincinnati, that adds a little flavor to the crosstown shootout now. But we're ecstatic about all aspects that she can bring. She's a baller, and we're excited about that. And then Janasia is somebody who is another versatile player, can really play the 3, 4, or 5 for us, can shoot the 3, can go on off the bounce. Her dad played college basketball, so another family that's just, she's been shooting baskets since she came out of the womb, type thing. So just another great family, great people that we're adding to our program.
And then the 3 early ones, Megan Harkey, 6'6", a forward, Michaela Scarlett, and then Shalana Wagner. Talk about those 3 that you got early.
Yeah, so we'll start with Megan, 6'6", adding size and length to our post position. Her biggest asset is she owns the paint and block shots. She has a presence in there, and she's very mobile for her size. She was in her 8th grade, going to be freshman, and that's when she grew 6 inches. So she pretty much had to reteach herself how to be now 6'6", but just a hard worker, a go-getter. So we're really excited about just what she can bring from a size standpoint. And then you got Shalana Wagner, just a long athletic wing, a winner. She was on par to win her 4th state championship. Like, how about that, Mike? She was going to have 4 rings, and then they got shut down with the virus, but they were undefeated this season. Just a winner, has won championships, knows how to do it, and plays like that. One of the most competitive kids. Her and Nia are so competitive. They make you better just by that. But played a pressing style her whole career. So she's someone that gets up in your shorts, can defend, can rebound for a guard, and can score. So we're excited about her. And then Michaela is a 5'10" point guard. So nice for her to have the opportunity to learn from Aaliyah, who will be a senior. And then kind of Aaliyah can take her under her wing a little bit, teach her all she needs to know about Big East basketball. But Michaela is a winner as well. They were just won a state championship prior to the shutdown, and it was the first time, I think, since the 80s at St. Francis High School. So just another kid that wins. She can score. She gets people the ball, a playmaker. We're just excited about all of them and what they bring to this program.
You look down that recruiting class in terms of size, and I reflected back immediately to Hallie Thome at Michigan, and she had such a great career there, first team All Big Ten a couple of times. Did that influence you when you were going out looking for players? Do you want to build that kind of Big Ten size system?
Definitely. I think the thing is the Big Ten and the Big East are very different from a skill set and what both leagues have. I think when you look at the Big Ten, they're bigger, they're stronger, where the Big East has quick athletic guards. So we needed to make sure that we in that guard spot brought some length, some athleticism, and some speed. And then to be anchored inside by a 6'6" kid who is a great screener, but also can get you some buckets, a high percentage shot down on the block it's a huge asset for us as well.
That'd be fantastic. So, and WNBA draft just completed, talking about the league, and Jalen Agnew, the 24th overall pick from the Washington Mystics. Kind of compliment is that to the league to have her go in the top 24? Because it is hard to get into the WNBA. The roster spots just aren't there.
It's very hard to get in the league. So that says a lot. And Agnew is an unbelievable player. There's a reason why she was our conference player of the year. She could score in all ways, variety of ways. She can get you off the bounce. She can pull up. She can shoot the three. She's the true package, and she's a winner, so that we're ecstatic for the league as an overall, just because that helps you in recruiting too, to say, hey, this is big time basketball league.
And when we talk about it, big-time basketball, UConn coming back to the league, how does that work into your recruiting conversations and even the conversations with the team coming into this year?
It helps us significantly. We're excited. A lot of people ask me that right away. Year one, did you know what you were signing up on it for? And it's like, you know what? That's great. It's great for our league. It's good for women's basketball to bring a program like UConn back into the league, and what it means. We're right there as a top 5, top 6 conference in the country. You add them, now how further up can we go? And it just helps you in recruiting, because to be the best, you want to play the best. And so it's helped us in recruiting because people want to come in and play the best.
And there's an opportunity with their national kind of recognition. I think they're one of the most watched teams in sports. There was some kind of statistic out there about 5 years ago. But that extends your message too, because during those games, they're going to be telling your story as well.
Exactly. It helps us. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for our program. It's a win-win for their program in the Big East Conference.
Talk a little bit about some developments in women's basketball in general. Muffet McGraw kind of comes up last week and all of a sudden decides to retire. What do you know about her and just her impact on the game from her career?
Yeah, she's a legend, and just what she fights for in our game with, women and trying to get more women involved. She's a role model for all of us, and she's a mom, and she was successful at the highest level. So for me, I look up to her and watched a lot of her talks and clinic notes on her. She's incredible in what she's done for our game. And then for Ivy to step in and get that job, right, after she stepped down, just exciting for our game in general. So.
And talk about, you mentioned a little bit that you had done some self-education as well. So you're able to take in some clinics from some different coaches from around the country right now and using this period to your advantage as well.
Yeah, so you can't really be around your players. You can't physically get recruits on campus. So it's important now to get better as a coach and grow. So I've had a lot of hour-long little Zoom meetings with a bunch of head coaches of all different variety of levels. So that's helped me in all aspects of just me growing, as well as reading books, watching coaches speak online, clinics, watching offenses, defenses, pressing. So my entire staff is doing it as well, just utilizing this time to grow as coaches.
So what can we expect? And I know it's up in the air, but if it does get back to campus, is there any kind of message you can give your team right now? Like, hey, we might be able to get back in October, November. And I know it's all up in the air, so it's probably a hard thing to do. And I know a lot of them want to get back in the gym and start working with each other. So what can you kind of do in this period to sort of give them some news and updates on what's going on?
Yeah, so we try to have Zoom meetings. We have Zoom meetings once a week where I try to give them updates on anything that I'm hearing. So it's kind of day to day. It's going to depend on the U.S. government, the Ohio government, and then the university on when our return to campus will be, if it will be, as well as NCAA. If NCAA comes in and brings some type of update that, equity-wise, we all got to be on the same page here or there. But that's what I just tell them. You never know when we get the green light to get you back. So you got to make sure you're working out and you're ready to go. And you don't want to waste time. Utilize this time to grow as individuals and grow as much as you can.
All right, Coach. Well, it's great to see your energetic smile in this COVID-19 situation. Always brightens our day. Thanks for joining us a little bit. And this is the end of Mel and Mike, the stay-at-home edition.
Go X!